Picture this. Imagine a man. He's got a solid career. The bank account looks healthy. And he treats women like royalty. He is always there. He listens. He understands. He buys gifts for occasions nobody else even remembers. But what is his reward? He gets dumped. Or worse. He gets replaced by a guy who has absolutely nothing. A guy with nothing but a cold attitude and an arrogant ego. Why? Why does the jerk get the unwavering devotion, while the man who gives his heart and soul gets treated with contempt? If you are asking yourself that question, here is your first reality check. You have been lied to. Your entire life is a sequence of lies perfectly programmed into your brain, by Hollywood movies, by sappy love songs, and by society itself. They told you, be nice, be good, spoil her, and she will love you. Wrong. Shut dead wrong. The answer to your failure isn't in the thickness of your wallet. It is not about how nice you are. It lies in their neurology. It lies in biological mechanisms installed millions of years ago. Listen closely. This video is not for weak men looking for cheap pickup lines to get laid. I am not here to teach you how to fake being cool. What I am about to give you are the original blueprints of evolutionary psychology. I am going to show you how to flip the script completely, from the desperate hunter to the prize that she craves to possess. But I have to warn you, the truth is brutal. What I am about to say goes against everything you were ever taught about women. If you cannot handle the truth, turn off this video right now. You can go back to being the nice guy, the dutiful provider, the model husband, whose wife dreams about another man when the lights go out. The choice is yours. But if you are still here, welcome to the real world. Let's begin. Let's get straight to the first problem, a problem that 90% of modern men are suffering from. Let me tell you a story about two types of men. This story happens every single day, in every coffee shop, in every corporate office. Look at the first type. Let's call him Mr. Stability. He is the ideal archetype in the eyes of every mother. Making a few $1,000s a month, solid career, dresses sharp, and he is always in a state of ready to serve. She texts. He replies instantly, even if he's in a meeting. She's hungry. He orders food to her door. She's sad. He is ready to be the emotional trash can for her to dump her feelings into. And on the flip side, we have the second type. Let's call him the maverick. He might be an artist, a freelancer, or just a guy with a massive ego. His finances might not match the first guy, and he doesn't care about proving his wealth. But he has something different. He is hard to catch. One moment, he is burning hot. The next, he vanishes for a whole day without a single explanation. He lives by his own rules, not chasing anyone's feelings. According to conventional logic, Mr. Stability should be the winner, right? He has the resources. He invests more effort. But what is the reality? She will happily go to dinner with Mr. Stability, letting him pay for the expensive meal. She will complain to him about her life problems. She says, "You are so good. You deserve a girl better than me." But when the night comes, the person she texts because she misses him, the person she craves to touch, the person keeping her awake at night, is the maverick. She might even cry on Mr. Stability's shoulder, but because she is heartbroken over the coldness of the other guy. Why? Do women enjoy suffering? Are they crazy? No, they are not crazy, and they don't enjoy suffering. They enjoy good genes. To understand this, you have to throw away your modern logical thinking. Go back in time. Not 100 years, but 100,000 years. Look at the evolutionary history of mankind. For millions of years, paper money did not exist. Designer bags and five-star dinners did not exist. So how was a man's value measured in the Stone Age? It was measured by survivability, by physical strength, by decisiveness, by the ability to protect the tribe and dominate. The brain of a modern woman, even though she lives in the digital age, is still running on that primitive operating system. And here is the fatal key that you must burn into your mind. Women have two separate mechanisms for evaluating men. Mechanism 1, searching for the provider. Represented by Mr. Stability, he brings safety and resources. When you use money to approach her, when you show off material things, you are triggering this mechanism. What emotion do you get back? Gratitude, comfort. But that is not burning love. That is a one-way ticket to the friend zone. Mechanism 2, searching for the lover, represented by the maverick. He brings excitement, unpredictability, and risk. These traits, in the biological subconscious, signal dominant genes. Only a man supremely confident in his survival skills would dare to be so unconcerned and risky. When that guy acts cold, her brain doesn't hate him. On the contrary, it releases dopamine. It triggers arousal and the desire to conquer. She wants those genes. That is instinct. So what is your fatal mistake? You are playing the role of the provider, but expecting the reward of the lover. When you just met her, you rushed to buy gifts. You invited her to the most expensive places. You tried to impress her with your wallet. You think you are showing generosity. No. In her eyes, you are screaming a pathetic message. Hey, my real personality is boring, so I have to use this money to compensate. Please like me because I paid for you. That is the stench of desperation. And women have a very sensitive nose. They can smell desperation from a mile away. When you have to buy attention, your value drops to zero. So what is the solution? Am I telling you to live irresponsibly like the other guy? Absolutely not. Money is power. Money is freedom. As a man, you must conquer financial heights, but you must change your mindset on how to use it. The golden rule is, internal state is always greater than external assets. Stop using finance as a flirting weapon. Stop trading gifts for affection. Treat your assets as tools to serve your life. Your wealth is for you to enjoy, not a vehicle to chauffeur her around or to buy her approval. When you are wealthy, but you don't use that wealth to serve her, you become extremely dangerous. You become a mystery. She will wonder, why does he have everything? But he doesn't need me. Why can't my beauty buy his resources? In that moment, wealth truly becomes a lethal weapon. It sends a message. I am complete. I don't need anyone to fill a void. You are here to accompany me, not to be served by me. The most attractive wealth is not the number in the bank. It is mental wealth. Mr. Stability loses because he uses money to beg for attention. The maverick wins because he does not need her. Remember this phrase: you cannot negotiate desire. Desire is not a business transaction. It is a biological reaction. But if we push money aside, if we don't use material things to impress, then what must you use? What do you use to trigger the addiction in her brain? The answer lies in an abstract but powerful concept. The thing that separates the ruler from the slave in every relationship. It is how you control the frame. And that is exactly what we are going to dissect right now. We talked about money. Now, let's talk about power. Picture this scenario. A scenario that twists the stomachs of millions of men every single day. You send her a text. What are you up to? Or, free this weekend? The notification pops up. Seen. And then, silence. 10 minutes pass. 30 minutes. An hour. You start getting restless. You check your phone. Connection is fine. She is online. Anxiety starts hijacking your mind. Did I say something wrong? Is she mad? Did something happen to her? And then, you commit a fatal error. You send another text. Why aren't you replying? Or just a hello? The moment your finger hits that send button for the second time, game over. You lost. Why? Because in that exact second, you crushed your own value and handed over total control of the relationship to her. In social dynamics, there is an immutable law. The person who cares less holds the power. This is where we talk about supply and demand. Look, Why are diamonds expensive? Because they are rare. The world has to dig through tons of dirt to find just one. Why is air free? Because it is everywhere. You breathe it in, you breathe it out without thinking. Your problem is, you are making yourself like air. A man who is always available, always replying within 3 seconds, always ready to cancel plans with his friends to chase a girl, is a cheap man. That is the sign of a man with no mission. And in the eyes of women, nothing is less attractive than a man who sits around guarding his phone all day. This leads us to a core concept of evolutionary psychology, hypergamy. Women are biologically programmed to look for men who are above them. I am not just talking about height or money. I am talking about spirit, willpower, emotional stability. They want a man they can look up to, a leader. They cannot love a man they can easily control or manipulate. Remember this, a woman will never love a man she pities. When you panic because she didn't text back, you are broadcasting weakness. You are saying, "My emotions depend on you. My happiness is in your hands." You put her on a pedestal and you turn yourself into an emotional beggar down below. And instinctively, when you are below, she looks down on you. Not with admiration, but with boredom. So what should you do? Become a cold-hearted jerk? No. You need to master the art of indifference. Indifference here is not fake coldness. It is the proof that your life is so rich, so busy, and so interesting, that whether she replies or not is just a minor detail that doesn't matter. If she replies, great. If she stays silent, also great. You have work to do. That is the mindset of a high-value man. Your happiness is a self-sustaining system, not dependent on external factors. Let me give you a metaphor to visualize this. Think of your life as a train. You are the conductor. This train has a specific schedule, a great destination, your career, your passion, your mission. This train keeps moving, through mountains, through tunnels, charging forward. Women, they are passengers. If she wants to get on board, welcome, enjoy the ride with me. If she wants to get off at the next station, goodbye, good luck. If she misses the train because she was late, too bad, the train doesn't wait. Whereas the train never stops and never changes direction just because a passenger threatens to jump off. Most modern men do the opposite. They park the train at the station all day waiting. They run after passengers begging, "Please, get on my train." That is why they fail. So specifically, how do you act to reset this frame? Here are 3 ironclad rules. Number 1, never change your schedule for a last-minute plan. If she texts, "Want to hang out tonight at 5 p.m. and you have a gym session or work to do?" The answer is no. Do not break a commitment to yourself to please her. When you say no, your value increases tenfold because it proves you have a life. Number 2, be the one to end the conversation. Don't text endlessly until she has to make an excuse to go to sleep. Leave when the conversation is at its peak. "I have a meeting. You talk later." Leave her with a slight void. That void plants the seed of missing you in her head. Number 3, the 80-20 rule. Invest 80% of your time, money, and energy into yourself. Give a maximum of 20% to women. The paradox is, the less you obsess over them, the more they crave your attention. You see, it sounds simple. Just care less, right? But why do most men who know this theory still fail miserably? Why does all that toughness vanish the moment they stand in front of a girl they like? Because they fall into a sophisticated psychological trap. A sweet trap called the validation death spiral. If you don't escape this trap, every technique you just learned is useless. What is it? And how do you destroy it? The answer is in the next section. We just talked about taking control. But this is where most of you fall off the horse. Be honest with me. Have you ever sat across from a girl on a first date and found yourself talking non-stop? You talk about how hard you work. You talk about your recent promotion. You brag about the big project that made you thousands of dollars. Or maybe You try to give a long, philosophical explanation about life, just to prove you are deep. You think you are sharing? You think you are impressing her? Number. Let me tell you the naked truth about what is happening in your subconscious at that moment. You are not sharing. You are asking for permission. You are unconsciously looking into her eyes and asking, "Do you think I'm smart? Do you think I'm good enough? Please nod. Please validate me." Welcome to the nice guy syndrome. And this is the fastest acting poison to kill attraction in human history. This psychological mechanism is called trying too hard. Look at this pathetic process. Does it look familiar? Step 1. You feel insecure inside. You fear you aren't attractive enough. Step 2. To cover up that fear, you start bragging or people-pleasing. You laugh at her bad jokes. You agree with her ridiculous opinions. Step 3. Women, with intuition 10 times sharper than men, smell the insecurity. They can feel you acting. They see you like a circus monkey dancing for a banana. And the banana here is her approval. Step 4. She starts pulling back. She loses interest. Step 5. You panic. You think you didn't perform well enough. So you try harder, you brag more, you spoil her more, and game over. Here is the brutal truth that no one tells you. In the eyes of women, a man who is a validation seeker looks exactly like a child running to his mother to show off a drawing. "Mommy, look at me. Am I a good boy?" And remember this, women do not sleep with their sons. They do not feel sexual desire for a child who needs petting. They want a man, and a real man does not need anyone to tell him he is good. He knows it. Loud confidence is fake confidence. True confidence is silent. So how do you escape this trap? How do you stop being the clown begging for affection? I have 3 antidotes for you. Antidote number 1. Mystery is power. Stop vomiting your entire life story on the first date. Don't spill everything about your achievements, your assets, or your tragic past. Keep your ace cards hidden. Women are like cats. If you give a cat a ball of yarn that is already unraveled, it will play for 2 minutes and walk away. But if you give it a tangled ball of yarn, it will play for hours. Be that tangled ball of yarn. Let her discover the layers of your personality by herself. When she discovers you are better than what you said, that is when admiration is born. Antidote number 2. Never J a DE. This is the golden rule in communication and negotiation. JADE stands for justify, argue, defend, explain. When she criticizes your shirt, or when she says, "Why do you work so much? You don't care about me." What is the nice guy reflex? No, it's not like that. The project is just urgent. I promise I will make it up to you. Justify, explain. That is the behavior of a subordinate. What does an alpha do? He smirks. He ignores it. Or he teases her back. "Yeah, I'm addicted to work. Think you can rehab me?" Never try to use logic to justify her emotions. When you stop explaining, you stop giving her the authority to judge you. Antidote number 3. Get comfortable with silence. In a conversation, when silence falls, who feels uncomfortable first? The weaker person. The weaker person panics and tries to say something stupid just to fill the void. Don't do that. Practice looking straight into her eyes and staying silent. Smile slightly. Relax. Let the silence create pressure on her. Let her wonder, what is he thinking? Why isn't he talking? It is in those moments of silence that sexual tension is built. You see, silence is not empty. Silence is the roar of confidence. But there is an exception. There are times when her silence or her words are not just communication. They are traps set with intention. Women are masters of testing. They will throw psychological attacks, difficult questions to see if your masculine shell is real or fake. We call these shit tests. And if you don't know how to parry these strikes, all the work you did to build your image will collapse in a single second. So what is a shit test? And how do you pass it like a god? The answer is in the next section. We have covered money, power, and mystery, but all of that is meaningless if you lack this final weapon. This is the nuclear option in every relationship, the weapon that 99% of men are too terrified to use. Imagine this scenario. She throws a tantrum for no reason. She makes a scene over something tiny, or she cancels a date at the last minute with a lame excuse. Or worse, she uses her beauty and sex to manipulate you. If you don't buy me that bag, you are sleeping on the couch. If you don't do what I say, don't expect to touch me tonight. What is the typical male reaction? Panic. They are afraid of her anger. They are afraid of losing their access to sex, so they cave in. They apologize profusely, even though they did nothing wrong. And they compromise just to keep the peace. The moment you say, "I'm sorry," just to calm down her irrational madness, you have effectively castrated yourself. You need to understand what is really happening here. This is not just her being bratty. This is a genetic filter of nature. In the PUA, pickup artist community, they call these shit tests. Why do women do this? Is she evil? No. In her deep subconscious, a woman needs to know for certain. Is the man beside her solid enough? Life is full of storms. If a little tantrum from her causes you to panic, lose your cool, and lose your stance, how are you going to protect her and her children against the real storms of society? She plays the role of the storm. Your job is to be the mountain. The storm can scream. The waves can crash against the cliffs. But the mountain never moves. That is the spirit of Stoicism. Stoicism is not about being an emotionless rock. Stoicism is absolute emotional control. You don't jump for joy when praised, and you don't crumble when criticized. And here is a great paradox that nice guys never understand. The man who dares to say no to sex is the most attractive man. Sounds crazy, right? Nice guys think, I have to please her so she will let me sleep with her. Wrong. When she shows disrespect and you still crave her body, what does that prove? It proves the animal instinct in you is stronger than your reason. It proves you are a slave to your urges. And women do not respect slaves. But when you dare to say, stop, I don't like your attitude, I'm going home, you are sending a shockwave through her mind. I have my standards. And respect is more important than sex. I own myself, and you cannot use your body to control me. That is the peak of attraction. So what is the ultimate weapon here? It is the walk-away power. In any business negotiation, in any political game, and in love. The person who is ready to stand up and leave is the person who holds the power of life and death. If you are afraid of losing her, you will always be in the weak position. If you are willing to lose her to protect your self-respect, she will do anything to keep you. So what exactly must you do? I am not telling you to break up over every little thing. Here is the protocol of a mature man. Step 1. Set boundaries. You must know your limits clearly. For example, I do not tolerate you raising your voice at me, or I do not accept you texting your ex-boyfriend. Step 2. The warning. When she crosses the line for the first time, testing the boundary, calmly and sternly warn her. I don't like that. Don't let it happen again. No screaming, no cursing, just cold and decisive. Step 3. Execution. Walk away. If she intentionally crosses it again, don't argue. Don't explain. Remember JADE. Stand up, grab your jacket. I see you are not calm. I'm leaving. We will talk when you can be respectful. And walk out. Turn off your phone. Go to the gym. Get to work. Get a good night's sleep. Don't be afraid she will leave. Be afraid of losing yourself. Because women are like ships. They need a solid harbor. If the harbor, you, keeps shaking because of the waves, they will pull up the anchor and find another harbor. But if the harbor stands tall and unmoving, after the storm, the ship will naturally return to dock. Remember this, you were born alone. You will die alone. She is a companion, not your oxygen tank. We have now gone through all the core psychological mechanisms, from stopping the use of money to buy love, to holding the frame, and finally the courage to walk away. To sum it all up, we are not talking about memorizing a few pickup lines from the internet. We are not talking about tips and tricks. We are talking about something much bigger. We are talking about restructuring your entire being, so that when you walk into a room, without saying a word, your aura has already done the conquering for you. So what is the final step of this transformation? We have come a long way together, from exposing the illusion of money to destroying the habit of begging for affection. But listen to me carefully. All those techniques will be absolutely meaningless if you don't change the core. That is your identity. Do not watch this video just to learn how to make women addicted to you with cheap psychological tricks. If your life goal is still just chasing skirts, then congratulations, you are still a slave. You just switched from being a weak slave to a smarter slave. The mindset of a high-value man lies in this shift. Don't be addicted to women. Be addicted to growth. Visualize this. If you grab a net and run around the forest chasing butterflies, the more you chase, the further they fly. You end up exhausted and empty-handed. That is the image of 90% of men out there. But what does a smart man do? He stops running. He spends that time cultivating his garden. He plants flowers. He waters the soil. And when the garden blooms, the butterflies will come to him. Not just one, but in swarms. You must become a towering lighthouse in the middle of the ocean. The lighthouse does not run after ships. It stands still. It shines. It remains solid. And the ships that are lost in the storm of chaotic emotions will naturally find their way to your light for shelter. Burn this affirmation into your brain. An attractive man is not the man who sleeps with the most women. An attractive man is the one with the highest standards. He is the one who guards the gate to his life with absolute strictness. You are the prize, and the prize never begs people to take it. However, I must warn you one last time, even the toughest men, even those who have mastered stoicism, can still collapse in a split second before a powerful biological weapon. It is not beauty, it is tears and deadly silence. When she cries and plays the victim, or uses the silent treatment to torture your mind, that is when your emotional weak point is exposed. If you don't know the technique to disarm this trap, you will go soft, you will apologize, and everything you built will be destroyed. How do you wipe her tears without losing your dignity? How do you break the silence without becoming a desperate pleaser? I analyzed this exact technique in the video. Decoding shit tests, handling tears and silence. It is right there on your screen. Don't fall off the horse right at the gates of heaven. Click it now.